The Crew 2 gameplay news. News flash douchebags. I'm in love. The Crew 2 is on a one-way express to becoming my new bae when it comes to open world races, and for various reasons. Now, I've been following Gamescom 2017 very closely, and just like they did at E3, the Mavericks over at Ivory Tower have managed to leave us with a lasting impression, a feeling of intrigueness, if that's even a word, it doesn't matter, because they've left us with a feeling of enthusiasm for what they're bringing to the racing world first quarter 2018, March 16 to be exact. Now, as always, I watched another developer's interview, and in the hot seat was the producer, none other than the Crew's very own Stefan Jankowski. He explained how the second time round there is an even bigger focus on freedom. 12 million players have the opportunity to respond to an email-based questionnaire to help shape this game. The ability to break walls and smash boundaries and just take the whole sandbox openness of the first installment of the Crew to the next level was by far the biggest thing gathered from the information you guys provided to the development team. They listened, and boy did they listen well. It was definitely a good interview, giving us some more insight behind the thought process here. Freedom isn't just in the fact we now have a revamped map with land, sea and air, but it also extends to the gameplay modes. I mentioned in a previous video that even though there is a multitude of vehicle types, it's entirely up to you as to how you decide to play the game. If you're somebody who's hugely track focused, then there are lots of events that would be right up your street. If dirt is your thing and you like motocross, then hop on your bike and pull on your helmet, because there is plenty of mud-based mayhem to sink your teeth into. Now at this stage I'm still wondering if it's possible to change into a fighter plane halfway through a race and just kamikaze yourself into somebody's Lamborghini Gallardo as they approach the finish line. Hopefully not, but no doubt the PC modding community will find a way to make this a possibility for me. I'm willing to pay anything up to £3.25 to the first person who makes this a reality for me. Anyway, back to the point. Now, the drift mechanics in the Crew 1 I found quite tricky to get accustomed to, partly because I'm bloody terrible at drifting, but also because some of the cars were a bit too light, so my judgment on entry was usually a hot bowl of spaghetti type mess. But this was more due to my poor lack of being able to adapt than a flaw in the game, as many people got on fine. So I guess I was very pleased to hear Stefan say that they have made a few changes to drifting, including the handling model, so it will be great to experiment with this when the beta comes out in the next few weeks. Yes, I said beta, in the next few weeks, more on that at the end. Now, I know there are some of you out there who are still a bit skeptical about the game still being based in America, and to be honest, I was as well. But the way Stefan explained it, this should look and feel very different. We know height-wise the map has been scaled to be taller, but there will be a big focus on elevation changes with jumps and rooftop scenarios. They also destroyed some of the previous buildings on the old map to create lots of intriguing shortcuts. Taking New York City as an example, it will be possible to have track-based races in various areas, meaning that the Crew 2 is set to have more in the way of fictional locations than the Crew 1, which was more tightly aimed at copying the real-life map of the United States. So you could find yourself doing drift events through Central Park. I mean, how cool is that? It's all about adapting the map to suit the playing experience they're trying to provide, and after some thought, some reflection and watching a whole bunch of videos to help my research, I have to say I'm definitely sold on this approach so far, so fair play to them. Now, the main aims and objectives for you in this game is about being the best within the disciplines you choose, perfecting your class and becoming the absolute undisputed king of motorsport, both individually as well as online. There will be a huge community focus here, probably similar to Wild Run expansion in the Crew 1, where you took part in the summer events and your scores would feed into a worldwide global leaderboard. Now, Stefan didn't say this, but I expect there will be monthly prizes to be unlocked for those who perform well across the weeks and months, as this proved very popular and kept the Crew 1 alive for such a long period of time. Now, you know me, I'm all about choice. And I'm pleased that Stefan confirmed that the storyline is loosely tied into the game, meaning you have the flexibility to go along with that path or just jump into the game and do whatever you want, as either way you will be unlocking Easter eggs, learning new skills and gaining XP. You can discover all disciplines and unlock content however you choose to play the game. Now, just to touch a bit on planes, he said the events involving them will have variations such as races and acrobatic style situations where you have to approach certain gates at an angle. So that should be good fun. Also, as many of you have heard by now, they have unveiled what looks to be one of the finest video editing modes to be seen in a racing game, probably ever. Similar to GTA 5's Rockstar editor in its functionality, allowing you to create highlight reels, movie montages and tracking shots all in game without the need for having a monster PC with expensive editing software, which is brilliant because not everyone can afford to buy those products, and it now gives those who didn't have an opportunity to be creative previously the chance to do so now. Ivory Tower are really thinking about things this time around, and it's clear from stuff like that they actually care about what it is that makes you the gamer happy. And I guess that leads me on to my final thoughts. The Crew one was a mess in the beginning. It was a game with a brilliant concept, but the execution from the graphics to the physics were just not good enough at launch. Did the game ever become perfect? No. But the reason I have never hammered them is because within the space of time since its release to the present day, Ivory Tower stuck at it. They improved the visuals with a complete graphical overhaul of the whole open world. They improved the handling by restructuring the physics models. They added more cars, then more car specs. They expanded customization by adding more parts. They added expansion packs, introducing cop-focused chases and capture gameplay with the calling all units. And the hugely popular Wild Run expansion, which brought with it drag spec, monster spec, drift spec, as well as more PvP options. The Crew went from being a dirty mess on the street corner to a serious model on the catwalk. It started off as a 4 out of 10 and I'd say managed to get close to an 8. And for that sheer passion, commitment and dedication to stick with it and improve it and not abandon it, I have to applaud them. The Crew 2 is looking great so far. With all of the above in mind, if they show the same trajectory of development as they did in the Crew 1 to a game which looks like it will start on an even better starting foundation, then in a good way, it's positively frightening just how good this game could eventually be. And that just about rounds things up for this video, folks. Thank you so much for coming out to watch it. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of information I've provided. Now, I did mention earlier on about the beta situation regarding the Crew 2. If you have not done so already, hop over to the Crew official website and sign up for the beta to get your hands on an early version of the game. Also, check out all the other discussion based videos I've got covering all the other racing games that are coming out shortly on the channel as part of the Bourne Opinion playlist. If it's your first time around here, I wish you a Bourne welcome. If you're looking forward to the Crew 2, hit the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on to ensure that you don't miss the next news drop. And don't forget to check out the AutoBOURNE magazine. So I'll see you when the next video comes out. Take it easy. Peace. Do you like car reviews? Do you check out power tests? Are you a fan of head-to-head showdowns? How about having them all tied together in one convenient place? Welcome to the AutoBOURNE magazine, your one-stop shop for all of the above, presented on a weekly basis with quality content, clean-cut commentary and cars to suit everyone's pocket. What happened when the 370Z went up against the original 240? Was the American muscle car misunderstood by the British? Should you buy the brilliantly stupid John Cooper Works Mini? All questions and more will be answered as part of the AutoBOURNE magazine. Check it out now.